What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back again for another Tottenham update. Tottenham on tour, back in the studio. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, I'm good. I've just seen a picture that's about to come up.
You're seething already.
Already.
Seething already.
But no, I'm good. It's been good spending the day with you, Ben. It's good to be back in the studio.
Well, let's get into the update and let's start off with the recruitment model change from Paul O'Keefe, saying the recruitment model is definitely going to change at Tottenham. Expect a style similar to Brentford and Brighton. It will be very heavily data-based. And he also goes on to say that in the next few days and weeks, Spurs are going to be announcing several contracts torn up. The rebuild is ginormous.
Yeah, I mean... So we're going to have this gigantic clear out. We're going to change our philosophy again, see how it goes. I saw this when Paul O'Keefe said it yesterday, and I spoke to you about it just before. I think what you've got to look at with this as well is, all well and good, well, hey, we're going to get rid of some players and contracts to be ripped up. We're desperately short on quality now. So if you start getting rid of these players, you've got to bring quality in.
Of course.
To bring them back or to beef it up. So, like I said to you, for instance, if we just choose... Sanchez and Davies. Just an example. You rip them up. We already needed 2 decent centre-backs or very good centre-backs. Well, now we're going to need 3 or 4. And that's before we talk about any other positions. Lloris going, there's a goalkeeper. So if it is a couple of defenders, and this is just me picking names out, we need a goalkeeper and 4 defenders before we do anything.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me. We change recruitment methods like the wind, don't we? In all honesty, I just hope if it does change, which it does need to do, we've seen the success of Brentford and Brighton, we at least stick with it for a considerable amount of time.
Do you think this recruitment structure is a step in the right direction?
Yeah, whatever. Just to have some clear direction and to hear, right, this is the way we're going down. This is what we're going to do. It's all good saying it, it's doing it, isn't it? But we need to do something. And right now, the teams you used, the examples, Brentford and Brighton, one thing you've got to say is their recruitment has been fantastic.
Especially Brighton, yeah.
Oh, Brighton are in a league of their own at the moment. But yeah, it's hope that the club may start to do things. It's how long it will take to bear the fruits of it. And
in terms of the players that might have their contracts ripped up, who do you think they are? I mean, Ndombele is obviously going to be one of them.
Yep.
Lloris. Lo Celso, I don't know. I think because there's going to be interest in Lo Celso. I think we might be able to get money for him. Villa are interested. Teams are interested. So I don't think Lo Celso will be one of them. Winks could definitely be one of them. Lloris could be one of them with one year left in his contract.
He does have a year left after this. Okay. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. This is what I don't want. This is the thing that gets to me. Hugo Lloris's contract will not be getting ripped up. Hugo Lloris is going to be allowed to go like Kasper Schmeichel for 10 years of incredible service and wants to try something new. We're not going to stand in your way. So I would have put Hugo Lloris in that bracket of ripping up contracts.
Still, when you say ripping up contracts or let him go for free, it's the same thing at the end of the day.
Well, if you're going to put it that way, yeah, but just the way it's been spun, like when you say contracts being ripped up, you immediately think of Dembele and bad players that we need to get out the door. Hugo Lloris, no matter what I've said about him over the lot, fantastic keeper. He's going because the club are allowing him to go after his service. But I think Winks, who else did we say?
We said Winks, Ndombele, Lloris, Sanchez for sure. And I think that'll probably be it. I don't think there'll be many. It'll just be the players that they've been trying to shift for a few years and not being able to.
Yep. So whilst we're going to bring in this new recruitment, showing all the bad recruitment, off you go.
I don't think Ben Davies should be put in that category. And I think with Ben Davies, Ben Davies got 2 years, hasn't he? Yeah, but the thing is, with ripping up his contract, I still think Ben Davies is able to fill in the squad. I don't want him to be starting week in, week out like he has been this year and last year. But I think as a backup, you know what you're going to get when you bring him on. You know what you're going to get when we got injuries and you start him. So I think Ben Davies should stick around until the end of his contract.
If you had to have a dark horse at one that might get ripped up,
I don't think there is. I just think the players that we mentioned, I think it's just obvious it's going to be them. I don't think there will be any more in there, to be honest.
Can I chuck one in?
Go on.
Sessegnon.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But the thing is with Cess, he's so young. Surely you'll find a team that will take a punt on him.
I would, but you'd think so. But listen, he's made out of Weetabix, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, and it's not his fault. It's the conditioning and the way he's been training or whatever. But every time, I mean, I lost all faith in when we went to Notts Forest when I came back from Toronto. In such a bad performance. But that's why I said I think there's a dark horse.
Could be.
It could be him.
Yeah, very well could be. But also, with this player ripping up contracts thing, do you think that it's silly to do that now before a new manager and a new technical director comes in?
That's what this club does.
Do you think that they should be doing it? Is this a right move to do before a new manager can take a look at them?
Well, the one thing I will say in defence of the club with this is Paul O'Keefe did say in the coming weeks. Now, apparently the next manager, it's going to heat up in the next couple of weeks.
But at least he's going to need a couple of weeks just to see them.
Yep.
And it's going to be summertime, so...
Yeah, unless they're assessing what they've seen by data they've collected or been given or whatever, but you got a point.
Yeah. Well, let's move on and let's talk about the Feyenoord technical director, Dennis de Klaus. Telegraph are reporting that Feyenoord general manager Dennis de Klaus has rejected a big offer from Tottenham to join their board. So what they mean by join their board, I think, to become sporting director at Tottenham Hotspur. Jack Pickbrook says that the same thing. Feyenoord director Dennis de Klaus has rejected an offer from Tottenham. And ESPN Netherlands says that Feyenoord director has refused to deny Tottenham made an approach over their vacant sporting director role, but he is insisted that he remains happy at the Dutch club. So it looks as though we have made an offer and he's rejected us.
Yeah, be serious. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? You've just won the league title. You've got this position where the board are backing you and listening to what you're saying, and they are. We talk about managers talk and Jose Mourinho and Conte, what they may be saying. Director of football, I think everyone has seen how badly these have gone wrong with us, especially Paul Mitchell. We're bringing to this. I just don't know if you're a league title or someone. And let's face it, the Dutch league isn't the greatest league, but it's a big league in Europe. You've just won the league in a team that doesn't always compete for it. You're in the Champions League. Why are you leaving?
Ask Arne Slot.
Oh, well, I'll be in holiday next week.
Go and ask him, mate. Go and ask him. But look, that is the situation with Dennis de Klaus. It looks like he will not be joining Tottenham. And it's interesting because over the past few days or the past week, Romano has been saying there's been interest in the sporting director role. I'm not sure if it was Romano or someone else was saying this specifically, but he says there is a name involved that hasn't been spoken about in the press, and this must be the name.
It must be. I can't think of too many directors of football right now that we haven't approached or rumoured to have been approached, but there's one that's got under the radar, and maybe this is the one.
Well, he ain't coming anyway, so we can put that one to bed. But let's talk about Arne Slot now, as a final publication, 1908 NL, claims that Tottenham are yet to make an official offer for Arne Slot, according to Dennis de Klaus. And Slot, speaking to ESPN, we got some quotes from him, and he says, "My departure can also be a good thing for the club, but if there is no dream club, I will stay. In football, it is normal that you talk to other clubs. I'm not saying that I've done it now, but it's not forbidden to talk to other clubs." And this is following on quotes from before the weekend, where he was also talking about, well, journalists kept asking him, have you got an offer from Tottenham? Are you going to Tottenham? Are you going to Tottenham? And he just kept batting them away. So what do you make out of these quotes?
Well, the way you say that, and the way it reminds me, like I've said before, with Jan Vertonghen when he was at Ajax, and it was between us and Arsenal. And the reporter said, "You're going this summer," and he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Where to?" And he goes, and then the interview went, "Tottenham." He went, he did a little nod and went, "Yeah." I love that video. Arne Slot, it looks like it's getting stronger and stronger, isn't it? The links, it is getting stronger and stronger. What was the first? I like the first line you read. What was the first line you read from the quotes? "My departure can also be a good thing for the club." So yeah, I mean, he's laid it out. I think he's trying to soften the approach. I think there is definite interest. I think there's been definite talks. The real crunch things come when it progresses, isn't it? And that's where this is like when you have your interviews. They have a phone screen, just to see if you passed ready for the interview. I think he's got a really good chance for the job. He looks like a fascinating approach. We'll have to see where it goes. But why would he join us when he's just won the league in Ireland? Exactly. I mean, like I've said, I've been serious. Even if I was a Spurs fan, I wouldn't join Spurs as manager right now. The mess of this club, it is such a big ask. But you got to start from somewhere, don't you? You do. What I would do if I would wait to see what the next manager does, and if it shows that they are changing, they're like, right, okay, now I'll talk. But you're playing Champions League. But if everyone's waiting for the next manager there's got to be a next manager. I think that's where we are. I think that's where we are. But again, like you said, Champions League football, a club that are listening to him, a club where he's valued. You got to figure out. But I think, never mind, Spurs are in such a bad way. Yep. Never mind for Dennis de Klaus, for Arne Slot. Yep.
I think moving from a team like Feyenoord in the Dutch league, never mind if you've won it or not, and to move to a club like Tottenham, who, yes, we're going to probably finish 8th this season, but in the last 4 or 5 years or more, we've been finishing top 4, top 6. So it's a step upwards, whatever way you want to spin it.
Oh, it doesn't. Listen, without being disrespectful to Ajax, if you come to the Premier League, you're having a step up. Ajax, don't get me wrong, is a behemoth of a club, but the Premier League is different gravy. A lot of them want to come here. It's an interesting one. So he could come against London, the bright lights. Again, what we've got to remember as well is, does his family want to move to London? That's another huge part of this. But we'll see as talks progress.
Yeah, and you can find out when you're in Holland next week.
Exactly. I'll go on Arnie Slot Watch.
Let's talk about Julian Nagelsmann now. Duncan Castles says that talks have resumed between Tottenham and Julian Nagelsmann, and Nagelsmann is back in the running to be the next Tottenham Hotspur manager. However, the German does want assurances over the club's next sporting director. However, the Standard are saying that Tottenham have doubled down on their insistence that Julian Nagelsmann is not in the frame to be their next manager.
I have to say, I've been seeing that title the whole time, and it's just the most Spurs title.
It really is,
isn't it? Nagelsmann back on, then off again. It's literally, listen, he's not coming to Tottenham Hotspur. I saw something as well yesterday, someone showed me, where apparently we hadn't spoken to him, and then Nagelsmann people have said he's told them the director of football to go for. So it's like, how have you not spoken to Nagelsmann, but he has told you what director of football to get?
Just a pack of lies coming out of this football club.
It's a pack of lies, it's media spin, and don't forget, people, season ticket renewal date is June the 1st. So all these rumours will come out
next
flying.
week.
Exactly. All these rumours are going to come out flying, like Conte was the first time. And then deadline day went, and it's broken down. So get ready for a lot of these. Nagelsmann is not going to be the next Spurs manager. Full stop.
Yeah. Let's talk about Reuben Amorim now, another manager that has been linked to the job. Record Portugal are claiming that reported Tottenham target Reuben Amorim has assured his players that he will be staying at Sporting Lisbon this summer. So that's that one dead.
It might be back on again, though.
Maybe, and then off again.
Exactly, on and off again. Listen, he is getting a lot of reviews and rave reviews for what he's doing in Lisbon, and fair play to him. This is the part of the media and journalism that gets on my nerves. Slots in the league. Oh yeah, Amorim. Oh, it's just so. Do you know what? I used to fall for this hook, line and sinker. I used to be, and you've told me before, stop tweeting this stuff. I'm not doing it this year. It's so much media speculation. The guy said he stayed in Lisbon. He stayed in Lisbon. Game over.
Yeah. Let's talk about Okochu, who is the Feyenoord captain. So we're just trying to just rip Feyenoord apart, basically, the Dutch champions. But the Feyenoord publication 1908 NL claimed that Tottenham have recently held talks with Okochu and his agent. Spurs have scouted him over recent seasons and are more than convinced by his talent. Spurs could make an approach for the Feyenoord man, who they value at 40 million euros.
Okay, so opening bid of 15 million coming in.
Loan with an option to buy of 1 million.
Exactly, spread over 10 years. And European bonuses. Listen, when the man, I don't see how Feyenoord say take our manager and take our captain. There are. I remember back in the day when managers did this. When they moved, they said they won't come back and raid their club within the first year. I mean, is he a player? I don't know a lot about the player, so I can't really. Is he someone that would come straight into this first? Well, actually, anyone could get into this first team right now. Is he someone?
He's a good player. I mean, I haven't seen him play that many times, but judging by the data and everything like that that I've done research on, he seems like a really good player. He's young. He plays central midfield. He's their captain at 22 years of age. And he knows where the net is. I mean, he scored, I think, 8 goals and 4 assists or something like that from a centre midfield.
Well, there you go, captain at 22. He could be in the leadership team.
Yeah, exactly.
He's eligible like Ollie Skip. I think, and I've said this all January as well, when it comes to buying players, our defence is the number one worry. If he comes, and it's what Arnie Slot will know the best, won't he? So if he comes, he comes. I just think defence is more important than midfield right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. But if it's someone that the manager really wants and thinks that there's a definite space for him in the squad, then I'm all for it. And, you know, it's a bit similar to when Ten Hag, you know, went to Man United. He went straight back to the Dutch league. He went and took Anthony straight away from Ajax. So, you know, maybe the Dutch managers like working with the players that they favoured in the past jobs.
Well, let's hope this new data thing is going to work and everything, this new approach. Because I remember when Poch came, he wanted Schneiderlin and we got Benjamin Stambouli. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'll do some research on this guy.
Yeah. And last but not least, let's talk about Clement Longlay, as Dario AS are reporting that Barcelona are rubbing their hands together at the possibility of Tottenham paying 12 million euros for Clement Longlay. Clement Longgap.
Exactly. Clement Longgap. We got him in to be the stopgap so we get our number one target, and our replacement for Clement Longgap is going to be...
Clement Longgap.
There we go. There we go. And, but do you know what? When you say Barcelona rubbing their hands, they're getting Emerson vibes, aren't they?
But Emerson, I think
Emerson. No, what I'm saying is when they even said, I can't believe we got that amount for them. I don't want this man anywhere near the Spurs. I just don't. It's not worked. He's not good enough. And I bet you Barcelona. That's what it's become. Barcelona are saying we're rubbing our hands or begging for you to take him. And Spurs, rather than Spurs thinking, wait a minute, why don't the great Barcelona want him? We go, oh, cheap deal. Here we go. Let's do it. We get him for cheap. This is not the kind of quality we need. We've seen it. I do not want him in a Spurs shirt next season. I think it's a very, very bad move for the club if we do this.
Completely agree. I couldn't agree more. I mean, and we've spoken about it so many times on this channel, but Clement Longlay, he's just not good enough at the end of the day. We need so much better, so much more dynamic, so much better in every facet of defending.
Yep.
Look, Longlay, like, he's not a bad player. I wouldn't call him a terrible player, but he's no better than, no worse than Ben Davies. So, I mean, what's the point?
No, I mean, don't get wrong. He's had a couple of good games. I remember the Champions League in Marseille where he got the headed equaliser. There's some games where he has, but there's a lot more that he hasn't.
Yeah.
And we've tried him in a back three, we've tried him in a back two. We haven't got defenders that could just switch from twos to threes and look comfortable. And this, especially, I mean, like you said, we don't know why Romero was out. I completely forgot about him. Yesterday, till you said that, I completely forgot about him. And he's my favourite player. That shows how bad. But, we need some real quality. And I mean genuine quality at the back. And he is not genuine quality.
Yeah, completely agree. But look, that is our Tottenham update for today. Thank you very much, Brian, for spending the day in the studio with me once again in the absence of Sim. Any good content coming out on Tottenham on tour this week?
There will be. We've ramped up. I've been doing a daily thing that will be coming out every day, funnily enough. See, I said I'd say something stupid. And yeah, thank you everyone for the support of the channel. It's growing, and we have a big summer planned. So that's all I'll say, a big summer planned.
All right, so head over to Tottenham Tour, smash that subscribe button. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button over here as well. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.